Struggling with stubborn weight gain? Relentless fatigue? Brain fog that just won't lift? Insulin resistance could be the hidden culprit. In this episode of Cultivating Her, I break down what insulin resistance really is, how it disrupts your hormones, and why it's especially critical for women in perimenopause. Plus, as always, I'll share practical steps you can take to reset your metabolism and reclaim your energy. So settle in and discover how understanding your beautiful body changes everything. Welcome to Cultivating Her, breaking taboos, balancing hormones, and redefining women's health. I'm your host, Christy Edgar, an integrative nutrition health coach and holistic lifestyle expert. Join me as we dive into the world of menstrual health, hormone balance, and the connection to women's wellness. Whether you're looking to decode your cycle, tackle PMS, or manage menopause, this show is your go-to to syncing your lifestyle with your hormonal rhythms. Through candid conversations, practical tips, and a few expert interviews, Cultivating Her empowers women to embrace their cycles and align their lifestyle to boost energy and thrive in every phase of life. Subscribe now and start flowing with confidence as we redefine what it means to be a woman with harmonious health. Welcome back to Cultivating Her. I'm your host, Christy Edgar, and today we are talking about insulin resistance. So this is one of the most common yet severely overlooked contributors to chronic illness, metabolic dysfunction, and hormonal imbalances, specifically for women in perimenopause. Before we dive in, I just want to share a quick story. I have a client. We're going to call her Becky because I don't want to share anybody's personal information. But she came to me feeling just defeated, okay? Despite her best efforts of eating a relatively healthy diet, exercising consistently, managing stress, she still was exhausted. She had brain fog. She had stubborn belly fat. And she could not get her A1C to lower. What she did not realize was that insulin resistance was silently working behind the scenes and driving some of those symptoms. So once we addressed this root cause and did some strategic planning with her lifestyle and her nutrition and all of those things, she saw her energy increase, her productivity got better, her cravings faded, and she started to finally drop the weight that was stubbornly sitting around her midsection. All right, so what is insulin resistance? Insulin resistance occurs when the cells of the body stop responding efficiently to insulin. Insulin is the hormone that helps shuttle glucose from your bloodstream into your cells to be converted into energy. When your cells no longer listen to insulin, your body compensates by producing more of it. So then this excess insulin can lead to weight gain, fatigue, and increased cravings, and ultimately starts driving metabolic dysfunction and raising your risk of type 2 diabetes. Okay, to illustrate this, imagine that insulin is a key that unlocks your cells, allowing glucose to get in. In a healthy system, the key turns smoothly and energy flows out freely. But in insulin resistance, that key gets worn down and the lock becomes rusty. So your body tries to force the lock by producing more keys, insulin, but this eventually overwhelms the system and causes deeper problems. Now, the hormonal hierarchy, remember that from a couple of episodes back. Cortisol is king, but insulin is queen. In the world of hormones, cortisol is king, right? That's at the top. But insulin is right below it. Together, they have this powerful influence over the rest of our hormones. Insulin directly controls our sex hormones. So cortisol, which is your body's primary stress hormone, directly impacts blood sugar. It prompts your liver to release stored glucose during times of stress. So this mechanism is essential for survival, but when cortisol levels remain high due to chronic stress, it's constantly keeping your blood glucose level high. And over time, this will worsen insulin resistance by forcing your body to produce more insulin to keep glucose under control. So, and then meanwhile, your insulin is holding the key to energy balance and hormone stability because remember, hormones influence extends far beyond just blood sugar regulation. It interacts closely with your key hormones, your sex hormones, estrogen, progesterone, testosterone, and those thyroid hormones. So elevated insulin levels can suppress progesterone production, which is critical for mood stability and restful sleep. And it also stimulates excess androgen production, contributing to symptoms like acne, hair loss, weight gain, and that's the symptoms that we see in PCOS. Okay? Because remember that estrogen and progesterone balance each other out. And if we get any kind of imbalance in there going on, so if our insulin is out of control, it just turns into a gigantic mess. So for women in perimenopause, this hormonal stuff becomes even more delicate because as estrogen fluctuates, your cells become less responsive to insulin, making blood sugar spikes and crashes more common. And then elevated insulin levels will encourage fat storage, particularly around your abdomen, further impacting that metabolic health. All right, so insulin resistance and type 2 diabetes. So if insulin resistance persists, your pancreas eventually struggles to keep up with the demand for more insulin. This can lead to chronically elevated blood sugar levels, which is the hallmark of type 2 diabetes. And over time, this constant strain on the pancreas can lead to exhaustion of insulin-producing cells, making it harder for your body to regulate glucose naturally. Okay, and what we'll see in that is that progressively the fasting glucose gets higher and higher. First it's 97, then it's 101, then it's 103, then it's 111, and it happens so slowly until it's high enough that the doctor will look at it and say, oh, you have type 2 diabetes, and we have to deal with it. So this is why many people don't realize that type 2 diabetes is developing like for years before you actually have symptoms show up. Insulin resistance doesn't happen overnight. It is a slow progression driven by what we eat, what our stress looks like, and what our lifestyle is. Okay. Now, perimenopausal women, why this is so important to them and why they need to pay attention. During perimenopause, your body becomes more sensitive to stress and less efficient at managing blood glucose. So this combination makes insulin resistance a key player in weight gain, mood swings, brain fog, and energy slumps during perimenopause. So addressing insulin resistance can dramatically improve your overall hormonal balance and reduce the severity of common perimenopausal symptoms. Yeah, you heard that right. Getting your insulin under control can lessen your symptoms during perimenopause. The other thing is brain health is a major concern. Insulin resistance has been linked to cognitive decline, with Alzheimer's now being called diabetes type 3. So when your brain cells lose their ability to effectively use glucose for fuel, your memory, your focus, and your overall cognitive function decline. So again, by improving your insulin sensitivity, you can dramatically improve your brain health in the long term. Now, let's talk about insulin resistance and the link to chronic illness. So insulin resistance isn't just about blood sugar. It is the root cause of many chronic illnesses, conditions like heart disease, Alzheimer's, PCOS, and even certain cancers are strongly tied to poor insulin regulation. So it also plays a role in inflammatory conditions, fatigue syndromes, and hormonal imbalances that many, many women are struggling with. Okay, so cardiovascular disease. Insulin resistance contributes to hypertension, which is a risk for heart disease. Elevated insulin levels can lead to increased sodium retention, which raises your blood pressure and promotes arterial stiffening. So research published in the Journal of the American College of Cardiology highlights how insulin resistance is a major driver of endothelial dysfunction and arterial damage. Okay? Just big words for saying that it does affect your heart and your heart's ability to pump blood effectively. Okay? Polycystic ovarian syndrome, PCOS. Okay? It's a common endocrine disorder in women of reproductive age and is closely linked to insulin resistance. Elevated insulin levels can stimulate ovarian androgen production, leading to irregular menstrual cycles, acne, and other things. So androgen is basically testosterone. So we have too much testosterone, which then throws our estrogen and our progesterone off balance. Okay, so the Journal of Clinical Endocrinology and Metabolism have shown that improving insulin sensitivity dramatically reduces PCOS symptoms. So, ladies, if you're struggling with PCOS, hit me up. I can help you overcome that, okay? And then, of course, cancer. So, this is an interesting topic, but basically, chronic hyperinsulinemia is associated with insulin resistance because it promotes cell proliferation and inhibits apoptosis, which creates an environment conducive to cancer development. Okay, and this is why we use fasting, specifically autophagy fasting, because apoptosis does start to happen at about 17 hours of not consuming food. Okay. So research in cancer epidemiology, biomarkers, and prevention, it's linked insulin resistance to the increased risk of specifically breast cancer, colon cancer, and endometrial cancer, okay? Now, how do we fix insulin resistance? So if you're experiencing fatigue, stubborn weight gain, especially around your middle, constant cravings, brain fog, okay, these are steps that you can take based on my nutritional protocols that I use in all of my coaching programs. I pretty much say this on every podcast, so I'm just going to keep saying it and it's going to sink in, right? First of all, we want to prioritize blood sugar balance. We want to focus on protein-rich breakfasts to stabilize energy throughout the day, okay? A breakfast rich in protein, fiber, and healthy fats can prevent mid-morning energy crashes and reduce cravings later in the day. Swap traditional heavy carb breakfasts for options like eggs with avocado, Greek yogurt with flax and chia seed, or a protein smoothie with collagen and nut butter. Okay, think savory breakfast. Eliminate all of that crap that we have accepted as breakfast food. It is not. It is hijacking your glucose and your hormones. Okay, number 2, feed the microbiome. Over and over and over again, I'm going to talk about gut health because it is the key to everything. Load your plate with fiber-rich veggies, fermented foods, and resistant starches to support gut health and improve insulin sensitivity. Your gut bacteria plays a direct role in regulating blood sugar, so building a robust microbiome is critical. Okay, number 3. Nature's carbs. Swap processed carbs for whole food sources like root vegetables, squashes, and berries. Because these types of carbs are nutrient dense, they're rich in fiber, and they're far less likely to spike your blood sugar. Nature's carbs contain fiber, and remember, fiber slows the absorption of sugar, thereby mitigating high glucose spikes. Number 4, protein is a super macronutrient. You want to aim for 30 grams of protein per meal to maintain muscle mass and regulate your blood sugar. Okay, protein helps keep you full longer, stabilizes your energy, and reduces your body's need for insulin. Your body prefers to push glucose into muscle over fat every day. So the more muscle we have, the more place the glucose has to go. Okay? And as perimenopausal women, we know that we need muscle because our body stops building it. So 2 ways to build muscle: lift heavy things and eat protein. Ladies, I don't know about you, but protein's a lot easier than lifting heavy things some days, right? All right, number 5 is embrace healthy fats. So healthy fats like avocado, olive oil, and organic raw nuts that are not roasted in seed oil, slow glucose absorption, and improve your insulin response. Do not shy away from fat. It is essential for hormone production and for metabolic health, okay? The line that we were sold that fat was bad is a lie. It is a big, fat, bold-faced lie, and we need to embrace it, okay? If you are not plant-based and you do eat animals, do not fear bacon or sausage, okay? These are animal fats that are good for us in moderation. I'm not suggesting that you eat it at every meal, but for the love, please eat some healthy fat, okay? Number 6, intermittent fasting the right way, okay? Women need to fast differently than men. So make sure that you're aligning your fasting schedule with your hormonal rhythm so that you get good results. If you do not, you will tank your hormones. You may not see it this cycle, you may not see it next cycle, but I promise you that it is happening in the background. So that means intermittent fasting is fine in the front half of the cycle, but in the back half of the cycle, when we're making progesterone, there is no fasting, okay? Manage stress. We talk about this over and over and over again too. I feel like a broken record sometimes. But chronic stress raises cortisol, which directly impacts our insulin. So prioritize mindfulness practices, breath work, or the upcoming sound bath session to bring your nervous system back into balance. You have to constantly be working at managing stress. We're not getting rid of it, but we do and we can find healthy, productive ways to manage it, okay? So if you are ready to take control of your health and master your metabolic balance, I do invite you to join my Rooted in Health Signature program. It's a group coaching program. Enrollment is going to be open from March 19th to the 30th. The program is going to kick off on Monday, March the 1st, okay? And then for those of you who are looking to take an even deeper dive into hormonal health, the Empowered Feminine Blueprint Masterclass is the perfect thing, okay? This class is going to give you practical tools to align nutrition, fasting, and lifestyle with your hormonal rhythms, and I'm going to give you a sample 30-day reset, okay? Actually, I'm going to give you two. I'm going to give you a beginner reset and an advanced reset, okay? So basically, it'll be 60 days, and I'm just going to explain all of that in the Empowered Feminine Blueprint, okay? Remember, your body was designed to thrive. So understanding how to unlock metabolic health is the first step toward feeling vibrant, energetic, and empowered. And also the first step to balancing out your hormones. Remember, understanding your body changes everything, okay? So get empowered, get educated, and take your health back one step at a time. That's all for today. I know it was a lot, but please reach out if you have questions. And until next time, be kind, be well, cultivate good health. Thank you for joining me on this journey to educate and empower. I hope you found value in what you heard and will come back to listen again. Together, we're going to create a community of women empowered to transform their health. If you're excited to be part of this, please subscribe, leave a review, and share with the other women in your life who need health support tailored to that X chromosome. Until next time, be kind, be well, cultivate your health.